Okay, hello. Happy, well, here in Norway and most of Europe, I think there's a national holiday. So, yeah. Um, so I thought we could try to actually publish an alpha version of ReactX. You have to excuse my face. I've become a teenager when I get the flu or the man flu. I get zits and stuff. And I have to poke at them, which you shouldn't do. Like, it's so funny how we tell our kids not to do stuff. Like, especially with our kids, they're kind of, we call it snoke in Norwegian. It means like you're craving on something and you're trying to find some candy, and we're so upset with them because they keep doing that all the time. Like, we have to lock the doors and everything. And then every time like they go to bed or something, I'm like telling my partner, do we have something? I'm craving something. um yeah, it's just funny to me. Okay, so we were playing around last time, actually making this thing work, I think. um at least to the point where we can release an alpha version, so I thought we could try to get that done. What we need to do first is, well, we need to have, yeah, it's ReactX. Let's just call it 1.0.0 alpha 1. I think we did actually release an alpha version, but let's do 1.0.0 alpha 1. And yeah, no, nothing like that. Putting Redux there is kind of a, since the Redux is still so popular. Let's see, transparent reactor state management. Cool. So now we have that in place, but we need to look at the dev tools first. So maybe we can just open a new one. And let's commit more fixes. And we're going to just evaluate. Oh, look at that. Oh, invalid git push. Oh, what did I do? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should put a feat here. Support ReactX. Okay, and what we're gonna do is basically go in here and find the branch, and we're gonna create a PR, and then we're gonna review the changes we made because I can't remember. Support ReactX. Create pull request. Let's see here. Okay, so we did a few changes. So this is really just supporting nested actions when the correct, oh, look at that. I had a feeling we would have a few of those. Was it here? Yeah. Let's remove that. But this is not like, this is fine. Oh, this is also wrong. So if we have parent path concat action.path, or we're gonna have action path. Was that a, oh yeah, string array. Cool. And then we have operators by, oh, this is interesting. Oh, that's if it's inline. Yeah, we remove that wrapper. That's fine. We're gonna run over mine and kind of just test it, but let's just, oh, look at that. This is in operator index. By the way, I'm so looking forward to Apple is having a event this evening. Where is operator? Was there operator? Oh, action operator. I'm really looking forward to see the new operating system they've been working on, or not new operating system, but design or the visuals. It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, so this is operator, and I think that's fine. Oh, look at me. Putting a bunch of... Okay, that's history. Yeah, and we put that like NA, not available thing. I kind of want to call it transient, just to use a fancy word, but it's like, it's a transient change. It's not like, I think yeah, what does transient actually mean? But people are going to ask still. It's such a complex word. Or not complex word, but like a word that it's hard to understand the meaning of that. But N/A doesn't really help either. Let's see if we can find a better word. Maybe we could call it... It's very nice of you just popping in. Thanks so much. Hope you have a good day. Let's see. Not available. Okay, I'm gonna... What does transient mean? So transient for me, where I got exposed to that word in like state management, was state machines. And that means a state that you don't really... When you move into that state, it's just going to move you to the next state. Yeah, a temporary. Yeah, but this isn't temporary. It's like no action. What's the opposite of being applying a mutation with an action? It's like no action. I'm just gonna write that. Sorry, I can't come up with anything else. Let's see. So that should be better now. I think. Use app state. What's this? Oh, let's look at that. This is main index. Did I add something? Oh yeah, look at this. Cool. And we're also gonna merge in oh, overmind to do. We can remove that. Where did I put that? Oh, I put it... Did I put it right here? No. Where did I put that? Where's the to do? Where the hell did I put that? Overmind. Oh, in overmind to do. Did I actually change overmind though? I don't think I did. Wait, what? Where? Overmind source. Oh, source overmind to do. Sorry. Can delete that one. Yeah, and then it was this weird thing that never really worked, I think. And then get message, return. Yeah, I guess that's really the same now. State message. And now this is deriving, right? Yeah. So now when we're deriving, we're checking. Oh yeah, we added this is mutation. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, exactly. We added this is mutation flag to... Yeah, exactly. So is it like just setting state, or is it actually mutations? Yeah, because we don't want to list. But that makes me think that, no, because we wanted to differentiate what a mutation is. I'm just wondering if we can do this a bit more simpler. Hi, Henry. I'm hoping to wrap up some stuff today. So we're gonna see. Oh, I need my elements. There we go. Set the mood in my office. So this flag is new, and I don't think we don't necessarily need it, because I think we have this pending list now of mutations, and whenever we observe a state change, we're gonna check the list of mutations, and then if there's no mutation, yeah, I think there is a solution here where we always send that mutation. But then it's already been sent. So, but this is not gonna break. This is not gonna break existing overmind. That's the most important thing. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. So what we're gonna try now is go to overmind git checkout next. What? Oh, sorry. Clean up. Fix. Clean up. Git push. Git checkout next. Git pull. And let's try merging next. I think we're gonna have a merge conflict. No merge conflicts. Oh, nice. Nice. And you mentioned, Henry, that now we can pass in. So basically on this, let's see. What did you say? On the init, we can pass in init. Wasn't there an init message? Where do we send that? There we go. We can now send in some more stuff. Do you have a list of those, Henry? The things for turning off the features. Let's see. Okay, cool. So that's turning off some features. Yep, no worries. Yeah, so what I want to try now, I'm actually going to install Overmind here. Overmind React dev, save dev. And then we're just gonna briefly test it. I wish I could like actually test. Maybe we could. Yeah, so theoretically, I don't think any changes we made now is actually gonna affect a real application. But instead of me like trying to reproduce any issues here, maybe we could just merge it to next based on us based on those reflections that theoretically it should not affect anything. It should actually just improve the experience. And then we can test it there on real applications. And then yeah. Ble det feil igjen? Vi får ikke til de dinosaurene. Nei, jeg mener ikke dinosaurene. Vi skulle lage
Men så økte hun det. Da skulle ikke fargejeger inni sengen. Alle skulle være i skyen.
Ja.
Jeg skulle ikke ha jeg skulle ikke ha den der kanonen.
Jeg skjønner. Jeg skjønner. Men du, hør på meg nå. Mamma, hun vil at du skal få en fin tegning som du liker, og mamma gjør så godt hun kan.
Jeg hater den der.
Ja, men du må heller prøve å hjelpe mamma. Jeg blir så frustrert på henne. Men kan ikke dere heller ta en tur på trampolina nå, da? Liker du ikke mamma nå fordi hun ikke klarer å tegne? Jo. Men du, nå sitter pappa og streamer litt. Du, kompis. He gets pissed off when we're trying to help him draw, or he's telling us to draw something, and then it's not good enough, and he gets pissed at us. Oh, it's in the README. Okay. Let's see. Oh, sorry. In the, I guess in this README. Oh. Oh, look at that. Look at that, Henry. It's beautiful. False, 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 false. Let's see now. This is gonna be interesting. npm run build. Yay, look at that. Oh, I guess oh, it did say, let's see what happens. Yeah, it looks like transitions is still showing. But no biggie. Didn't we have some history here? Maybe we didn't. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I wonder why transitions didn't work. Maybe I can fix that. Oh. And I guess this is part of the... Oh, yeah. Oh, do I have to pass... Do I have to pass a version number? How does that work now? Are you passing a version number? yeah, exactly. I don't have overmind. Går bra, Oskar? Let's see, where do we have the... Oh, here are the tabs. Oh, this is interesting, because it's just looking at features transitions. That's very interesting. Not equal to... Oh! So you have null there. Maybe it's... Yeah, not equal to false. Yeah, that's super weird. Yeah, exactly. It should work. That's interesting. But maybe there's like... How do you actually do that version check? Maybe there's something... I have a feeling it's related to that somehow. Features... Oh, only if you don't set it at all. Oh, Oskar. Du ødelegger, Oskar. Oskar. Det må du ikke gjøre. Pappa bruker den, skjønner du. Ja, men du skjønner, da blir det ødelagt på skjermen til pappa. Oi, hvor ble det av? Du, nå forsvant jo pappa her helt. Hva skjedde nå? Du. Okay, something weird happened. Where the hell did I go? Wait. Christians. What the fuck just happened? This is guest and this is me. Men det funker ikke nå. Nei, der. Okay, I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, I think we're good. Sorry about that. Yeah, exactly. So... Yeah. Nei, man får holde på her, da.
Vi vil også være på YouTube!
Oh, I think it's this one. So this should be... I think it needs to be like this. Wait, what? Oh, type of... So we have to check, because now it's false, right? So it goes to setting null. Hei, dere. Ut. Nå må jeg få lov til å gjøre det jeg vil. Og så må du gå opp til mamma og finne på noe med mamma. Let's see. There we go. Now it's gone. Okay, cool. Nice. Come on. Oskar, nå må du ta deg sammen og så finne på noe artig sammen med mamma. Så skal vi game Rocket League etterpå.
Hæ?
Så skal vi game Rocket League etterpå.
Vi går på trampolina.
Ja, dra på trampolina med mamsen. Mamma er her, hun bare venter på deg, hun. Yeah, sorry, I tried to explain the change I made. So, so previously here, if we go back to the previous one, so what happened here is that when you do this check, like if I set transitions to false, it's going to be set to null, because that's a false validation. Yeah, true, false, and null, yeah. So, but basically, since this check will be false for a null or a false, it's always going to be null. So it doesn't actually honor the false property. So the only way to really do that is to check if the transitions field is undefined. If it's not defined at all, it should be null. Or it should be, or what you can rather do maybe is type of Boolean. That's kind of the best way to do it. So if it's a Boolean, then use that Boolean to set the correct value or set it to null if you don't know what it is. But yeah, this is great. I think we're gonna try this. Do you feel okay about merging this to next? Henry, and kind of try it there on some real Overmind apps, as opposed to me just fiddling around with some fake examples. Like, based on the changes I made, it shouldn't affect the existing Overmind experience. It should rather be enhanced, if anything, in terms of like how it looks. So I'm just gonna fix what's it called? Like not Boolean check on transitions feature. Okay, because then what I could do in the meantime is I'm gonna share this link with you. No, that's something else. Where did it go? Overmind. So this is the PR, Henry. Yes, it's now in sync with Next, so we can let the tests run through. I'm not sure if they're gonna pick up anything, but yeah. And then we could merge it, and I can build the bin file for ReactX. So that would be, let's see, git add. Oh, let's just remove, we don't need Overmind here. Git status, git and git npm install. Oh, this is using yarn, sorry. I'm so sick and tired of having all these different solutions. Yeah, so what we're gonna do now is that you should be able to call npx ReactX, and it's gonna fire up the so there is a tool called and I think Overmind DevTools already has this, right? You can say npx Overmind DevTools, right? Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna allow the same. So there is a tool called Overmind DevTools, which you can start by running npx Overmind DevTools in the terminal. I want this package, ReactX, to work as a proxy. So if I do npx ReactX, it is going to actually call then we have to make that a dependency. Overmind tools. Oh yeah, yeah. Please do whatever you want to make it look good. Let's see. Overmind dev tools. It's going to actually do the same thing. Is there a way to easily proxy this? I installed Overmind dev tools as a dependency. Please go at it. Let's see now. Now the whole proxy DevTools implementation isn't like super amazing. There's probably things we can do there to clean up a bit and so on, but I'm learning to go into more of an MVP mode where we need to validate that this is what we want to do first before I go into that mode of cleaning up. And if it works, there's no reason to clean it up. So yeah, thank you, Claude. What did I do? Oh, patch fix. Yeah. What is it going to do? Add a bin field to your packet, create a simple. I need to update to include a bin file field. Does this have a files? No, it doesn't. That's fine. Oh, files dist. Yeah, I think we have to change that. So it actually includes the bin file. But this is nice because it just includes, yeah, of course, you can just. Oh, by the way, we should do Overmind DevTools next, but I can change that. Accept. Let me take a moment to fill it. It's interesting. I didn't read the full article from Apple about how LLMs aren't actually reasoning. They're just really good at complex pattern matching. But the only thing I sat with after reading that is like, but isn't that reasoning? Like, isn't that the low-level definition of reasoning? Is complex pattern matching? Like, how would you define reasoning any different way? Like, what is reasoning if it isn't complex pattern matching? I guess they're trying to point to the lack of ability to solve novel problems. But that's where, yeah, I'm not sure about that. Because that's what like yeah, surface. But how do we define these things? They're so like ephemeral. Like, it's very hard to define with simple words what we mean. And then also creativity, isn't that just taking patterns you know and kind of randomly scramble it a little bit? Which you also do with LMs. Like, what do they call that? Temperature? It's like how random it is about choosing an existing known pattern versus like scramble it a little bit. Yeah, I'm very curious about this. But it could be right. It's very interesting. I saw the documentary yesterday. What was it called? The Thinking Game with Demis Hassabis. Is that his name? The founder of DeepMind and Nobel Prize winner, related to AlphaFold, and like kind of just figuring out how to the protein folding of all known proteins, which is just insane, and just giving it to the world. Was this amazing scene in that documentary, which is like the meeting after they actually knew how to solve all protein folding or folding of all proteins, and they're like filming that meeting, and they're saying like, yeah, we can do this like in a month or something. Like, it doesn't matter, it's so fast now. And they suggested like, yeah, we can take like feedback, what proteins should we like fold, and we can have a service and people can apply and stuff like that. And then the Mies is like, well, why don't we just fold all of them and just give them? Which was a funny moment. It says something, yeah, like my partner is very skeptical to AI, understandably. but it's nice to be able to see the people also driving the technology forward. And I think Demis Hassabis, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is like one of the really good people to have. That's someone that, yeah, needs to be part of this. Yeah, that's built the rest of the text based on how it has been shaped by the training. It is very much based on breadth rather than complex internal calculation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's a really good point. Like, math is something else than text prediction, right? I don't know even understand how you would define. Yeah, I never actually reflected on math in the context of predictions, like, because I'm very much like, I can easily like fall in the group of people that thinks about humans as just very complex prediction machines. Like, our brain is just a very complex prediction machine, where kind of like our sense of being conscious is really just like our prediction simulation running, um, which sounds like, I don't know, doesn't sound very human. But it might be something like that. But anyways, if everything is predictions, how do you think about that in the context of math? I guess from some perspective, you can also say that math is patterns. But it's different kind of patterns. It's not like next word prediction. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. Like, LLMs is just next word predictions. And that's not the kind of prediction we do in our brains. We don't do next word prediction. It's something more than that. I don't know even how you would define it. Yeah, it's incredibly interesting. I'm listening to like all sorts of audiobooks and stuff on so what on like consciousness and what is this whole thing? Perfect, your proxy format is now set up. Create a bin. Yeah, and the bin file is basically just, yeah, let's first just accept everything. Yeah, I think it just runs, yeah, from package.json. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so if I were to run bin.js now. Oh, interesting. Why can't you find it? Over my dev tools. It's quite similar to compression. Once there is a pattern of similarity, it can be compressed based on the learned pattern. Yeah. It's interesting how that, I wonder how that translates to the brain. Like, the way the brain connects information is like repetition, and the neurons strengthen, I guess. So when one neuron triggers, it just highlights this network based on the strength of the information. Like, do we have a type of compression in our brains of learned patterns? Well, we definitely have intuition, right? which is like it's this insanely fast resolving of patterns, like even subconsciously. Yeah. But I do wonder though if our like conscious experience is really just. I know that some scientists thinks this like this is not nothing new, but it kind of makes sense to me. Like early humans were the way we survived was being very like we have our senses that helps us survive, and we weren't really conscious to, at least not to the same extent that we are now. Early on we were just reacting to our senses, so it was like an immediate reaction to any sensory input. But then at some point the brain was able to develop this simulation of the world outside that it just kept running. Like that's kind of like reality, and then senses would rather be ways for that simulation to be adjusted. So whenever the simulation was wrong, like the simulated output didn't match the sensory input, it would update itself, right? And the point is to have like this very simple, well, not simple, but energy efficient simulation just going on based on experience. And the only time you really use energy is whenever the input doesn't match the predicted output of the simulation, kind of something like that. It's very fascinating stuff. But why the hell didn't this work? What is the bin of? Oh, it doesn't have a bin. Oh, this is Online DevTools client. Was that what I installed? No. Oh, sorry, I looked at the wrong module. Overmind DevTools. Oh, it does. Oh, Overmind path. I guess this should just be tier name require.resolve. What the hell is this? Oh, find path to Overmind. But why is this package JSON? Oh, yeah, I think it should just be bin.js and then we're fine. Yeah, look at that. Cool. Cool, so this is working. Yeah, are you still there, Henry? Are you okay with merging the PR? And then we could try publishing the alpha and then add what was it? Executable DevTools. There we go. You sound like the people I work with, like on infra and backend. I'm this, like I'm, especially with the SDK work, I'm so like I'm being so affected by our customers because I'm working with them, like helping them figure out best strategies for using the SDK for their product and also fixing bugs and stuff. So I'm I have that same like, how should I put it? Temperament or like that level of energy, I guess. So I'm harassing my colleagues like, could you please do this? And then if I don't get an answer within like 5 minutes, I'm like, did you get my message? Oh. Okay, cool. But I think we should build this now. Yeah, but no project was ever hurt by having a whoop commit. That's just cute. Okay, so in the meantime, let's just double check this. Yeah, alpha 1, blah, blah, blah. We should really get the documentation out as well. So actually, maybe we should create a PR of this branch now and put it into main. And then Bonsify just have to become this. Is it still called Bonsify? Or is it called ReactX now? No, it's called Bonsify. No, it's called MobX Lite. Man, what a journey. Okay, let's just change the name of this thing. Yeah, this is not reflective of a professional history. This is very much exploration. Let's see. Where's the settings? Oh, that one. Okay, but I can I think I can fix it. Oh, we should bring back that VS Code dev tool or extension I built. We really need to. Yes, great. So we can easily do rebases. Let's see if I can figure it out. Git status, git log. So there was a whoop thing. Where's the whoop? Boolean check, merge branch, fix, cleanup. Oh, there's the whoop. How does this work? Git rebase. Oh, fuck, I can't even remember. And then head. What was it? Like, no. Where's the thingy? No. Head, like 5 or something? No. I can't remember it. How do I do interactive? I haven't done this in a while. Yeah. It was that far off. Oh, it was this thing. Does this include the whoop? Oh, there's the whoop. Can't I like squash that just into the other one? How do I squash? Oh, it's the other way around, right? I can squash this one into that one. Okay, well, we can rename it. Insert. Oh, what happened now? Ah, what happened? Ah. Is that wording? Is that reword? That's R. So that would be feet initial. I guess feet initial React as DevTools support, something like that. Oh, interesting. Git push force. Oh, sorry. Git rebase. Continue. Boolean check. Where did it go now? Oh, shit. What happened now? Oh, maybe it's down here somewhere? Sure. Yeah, initial React DevTools support. Okay, I think we're good. Git push force. Yeah, and let's just merge this one. Yeah, rewording should be okay. Yeah, it's kind of confusing, the squashing. I think I can't remember. I think you can only squash a later commit into a previous commit. There's something about it. Okay, let's just merge this so we can get this into the main branch. Not known? Why do you say that? Okay, you know what? We're also gonna. Oh, sorry. This is. Check out main. That was the wrong repo. Okay, cool. Close all. Here on build. Yeah, but don't you then? Yeah, but what does squash mean? Does it mean what is eaten by the next commit, or it's the next commit eaten by the what commit? This is why we have interfaces for complex handling of data and the likes. This is hard to reason. Like, you really have to. Like, I remember working in DOS back in the day. You felt like it gave a feeling like writing commands, and that's in the 90s, where you even had movies already about like hacking and stuff, and they were using the keyboard to like text inputs and enter and stuff like that. Felt like a hacker. Wouldn't be as exciting to see like a hacker that like uses a mouse, like a magic trackpad. uh, kind of double clicking icons and drag and drop. It wouldn't be as cool. Oh my god, sorry. Okay, let's publish this behind alpha. Well, wait, we need to fix one thing first. I think because the reference here for Overmind DevTools, that's, yeah, it's a specific version. So we have to wait until we have that new version. Oh, does it have conflicts now? Oh, did I do something? Okay, let's keep this one then. That was weird. Okay, now it should be good. All the correct prefixes on the commits and everything. Okay. Let's get that merged, and then we can update ReactX and we can publish the alpha. But what we can do in the meantime is go to Vercel and let's try to publish the docs there. I see. Let's see. What's the so we have Vite Press yeah, docs build. How does this work? So we have docs dev, docs build, and then preview. Is that well, we started this. It's a good question. When did this start? Like, it's been a really long journey for me. Like, the very first beginnings of this was when we started building version 2 of Code Sandbox. But then we started, I think it was this Bonsify thing we really started, which was about like how to express state management just using the language. That's really how it started. So, but we didn't call it Bonsify in the beginning, I think. I had no idea. But there's been many streams, many concepts, many reflections. But that's kind of nice to think about. Like, we started trying to use only the language with the minimal set of primitives, and we were actually able to go down to that. Like, only that we ended up with like classes. And that single primitive we have is only used once, unlike the initial concept where it was used multiple times. But yeah, what I wanted to do is to see if we can get the docs running. Let's see. Login. Continue with GitHub, I guess. Oh, look at me with all my stuff here. Yes. Okay. Oh, look at that. It's already deployed. That's so cool. Mobex Lite. Okay, can I rename this? Maybe we should start a new. Maybe I just have to accept all, whatever. Maybe we just have to import. Oh, it's going green. Oh, where was it? GitHub. ReactX. I think we just have to do another one. Add new project. ReactX. Import. Yes, build and output. Yeah, so we have to change this. Build command. And that was docs build. And then can I change the... How did that work? How did I do this? Yeah, great. But what's the settings? Are there any settings? Firewall. Oh, what? What did I do? I made my face super big. Oh, there we go. Build and deployment. Oh, okay. Is that on? Okay. I guess it's yarn. And then output directory is... Okay, deploy. Vercel, Vercel, Vercel. That took some time. Maybe it should be vit. I think it should be vit. Okay. No. No. Where's can I just merge it, Henry? Hey, look at that. Okay, and let's just use that for now. Copy link address. And we can go in and yeah, ReactX alpha. Yeah, I don't think we should visit website at for now. Okay, cool. And then let's look at the actual documentation. So that will be fuck. Oh, sorry. Where is that thing? Oh, there we are. Did you refresh? Oh, 18 commits. I think these are just like the merge commits. It looks good to me. Like I started this branch and then you went in and did all these other fixes. And then I did these other things after that. Oh, doubled? Oh, you mean like they're doubled in this list? Yeah, but isn't this how it looks like when you... So when you like merge this, it's gonna look good? Or maybe it's not. But can't we just squash this into a single commit? So we do like squash and merge, and then it becomes one single commit, which represents this dev tool. Just merge it. But I'll do a squash and merge then, so that we have like the branch only represents like a single. Okay, let's do a normal merge then. Wait, is that rebase and merge? Is that what we do? No. Merge commit. Is that what we do? Oh, fuck, it's so confusing, everything. Yeah, but it can't rebase for some reason. Git is such a hassle. I wish there was just one way of doing it. Yeah, but I can't rebase. The branch cannot be rebased due to conflicts. No idea what I did. Okay, cool. We can play around with the docs in the meantime. ReactX, transparent reactivity, managing state, best of both worlds. Object-oriented state management with functional UI components, transparent reactivity, just write state management UI code, free from reactivity boilerplate, query imitation utilities. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Cool. I have complete trust in you, Henry. Let's see. I'm gonna index. Is this the thing? No, get started. Let's just do alpha. Alpha. I want to add something about the dev tools. That would be nice. And then we have the observation. Oh, did we actually change that? A bubble plugin. Is that pointing to ReactX? Yeah. And SWC plugin is doing the same. That's good. Yeah, so we should really have some info about DevTools. DevTools, is that like a small one? Yeah. And then run the ReactX DevTools with npx ReactX. This will start an Electron app that you can connect to. And how do you connect to it? Because we had to say main. Didn't we have to say something? Where's the thingy? Yeah. True, or we have to send a string. This was certain that you can connect to. When you create a reactive bridge to React, I don't think I've used that term, but I'm going to use it now, and we're going to review everything probably hundreds of times. You can configure development mode by const state, reactive, new state. This connects to the default port of the DevTools. Or you can do localhost 41. Define a custom endpoint for the DevTools. And custom host. Host and port for the DevTools, exactly. Thank you. Yes, so that's that. And then hello world. With reactive, that's fine. Lazily, blah, blah, blah. Mental model, blah, blah, blah. Creating state, that's pretty straightforward. Yeah, I probably need to handle the documentation. Is so hard. It's super hard. But yeah, all of this is fine, I think. Yeah, though we should call them, maybe we should call them effects now. I like that term. Let's rename that to effects. And then VPress config. Can you change it for me, please? Effects. It's such a simple, straightforward word, which says something about what it really does. Let's see, effects. Yeah, so we're like, for me, typically when I develop tools like this, it's been very much because I had a dire need myself. So I'm very careful now when I'm developing, not with like a personal need. So for example, Cerebral was developed because I was building this teaching tool for kids to code. And then Code Sandbox was refactored using Cerebral. And then when TypeScript came along, we wanted to move to TypeScript at Code Sandbox. So that's why I created Overmind as a spiritual successor to Cerebral, which, yeah, is still kind of running at Code Sandbox. And then when we started the version 2 editor of Code Sandbox, we started exploring something that Overmind didn't manage, and it just led to this 1 year long journey of figuring out what exactly didn't Overmind handle. And there was tons of different explorations and different projects. And we did one approach internally at Code Sandbox, but then when we kind of wrapped up that editor, we tried exploring this concept called impact, which actually got very far down the road. Yeah, I have the exact same experience. Like, I love looking at the Overmind code base. Like, there's something about just having those like actions. Like, it was called sequences in Cerebral, but it's the same thing. It's like, this is where I do stuff, this is my state, and these are my effects, like things that happens outside my state management, or talking to the outside world. It's a very, very simple structure. But this is the same, really. It's just that it leans on something that's already very popular, which is MobX. But I guess there's like, but it all started with like, how can we just lean on the language as opposed to creating these custom abstractions? So there's definitely value in having like these custom abstractions, like sequences and effects and stuff like that, because you simplify the concept of actually developing apps, and then you can create all kinds of cool stuff like the dev tools of Cerebral and all that stuff. But at the cost of being like a very specific way to build apps, as opposed to just leaning on the language, and then you kind of just learn the language. And I think classes are something that people can at least relate to them, in the sense that it's just the way they're represented generically in the language, or not generically, but the way they're represented in the language is not in the sense of state management. It's like data modeling, kind of. But if you think about a class as a namespace, like we had the same concept in Cerebral and Overmind, like there's a container for some management of state, and that namespace needs to have some state that you're going to manipulate. It needs to have some function or method to interact with that state, and it needs to be able to access any effects from its environment. Yeah, Yeah, it's a very good point. It's a very, very good point. And I think that's the biggest I think that's the biggest thing is like if you have your actions independent of state, those actions never run in the context of that state. And what I mean is there's certain actions that's only available in certain states, and you aren't able to express that. So what really happens is that you have access to all actions at any point in time, and then they kind of have to check on their own if they're actually able to run now or not. So you kind of get additional checks inside the actions. So, but it's very much of a principle than practical. So when you have classes, you have this ability to bind methods to the state they actually manipulate. And you can make it dynamic so that certain methods aren't available in certain states and stuff. Which is more correct, like theoretically correct. Because many apps are like that. So for example, just a form, for example, that only shows at certain times in the app. And that form is only actually part of your state management when you actually open the form, as opposed to the form always being there. You can always call the actions to change the form, regardless of it showing in the app or not. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe you do want to just have it there. Yeah, it's really, really tricky. But yeah, the whole reason like Overmind didn't work for Code Sandbox is that we had a shit ton. Like we didn't have strict null checking in TypeScript. Awesome, Henry. Thank you so much. Yeah, the reason we even started this journey, like with Overmind, we're super happy with Overmind. And I have the exact same feeling, like jumping back into that Overmind code, like everything is just there. And just jumping into the dev tools, which is also built with Overmind, like everything is just there. Super, super simple to find stuff. But at Code Sandbox, we tried to turn on strict null checking, and the code base just lit up because we had a bunch of state that was like defined as something or null. And throughout our code, actions and components alike, we were just using state without checking if it was null because we didn't have strict null checking, and that worked. But I was like, why did this happen? Like, why doesn't the code of Code Sandbox understand? And why doesn't the components and the actions understand the context they're running in? Why don't they understand that, oh, but in this context, when this component is mounted, for sure that state is available. It can't be null. And that kind of started the whole thing. So that's why, like, passing state. So this is all tied together, kind of. So if you bind actions to the state, that state will always be available with the actions because they're defined in the same spot, kind of. And it's the same for components. Like if you pass state as props to components, you guarantee that the state is actually available, as opposed to using context. You can't be guaranteed that the state in the context is actually, or even the context itself is available. But again, it's theoretical. It's not a very pragmatic way of looking at things. So what's gonna happen in, like, if you were ever gonna try this, is that you will find yourself passing more references. So since each action doesn't have the root access to the whole kind of state tree and can just dive into any action and state, you'll have to, for example, a class might have a child class, And then you might pass the reference of the parent class down to the child class so it can access its parent, for example. Which is perfectly fine in object-oriented code, but yeah, that was a lot of reflections. Yeah, I guess like there's just no silver bullet. Let's see, what were we doing? Applications can run in an environment, typically the browser. Oh, maybe we can read it here. You might need to use certain APIs. Oh, did I turn it off again? Yeah, I can try pull next. Accept incoming. Did that change something? Oh, what happened here? Yeah, I don't feel like I answered anything. It's just all the thoughts or my experiences and reflections on the topic. It's like I found so much value in like the mindset of cerebral and overmind. As you say, you just have this is where your logic is, this is where your state is, and this is where your effects are. And like your logic in between is the thing that just binds it all. And you can just call anything at any point in time, and it will have access to all your effects and all your state and everything. It's super, super accessible. But then it is like if you want to model some dynamic nature of your app, then it gets a bit trickier. But the thing is, like, you don't. But maybe that's just another rule of the approach, like, or a description of the approach. Is like it's not only like global. It's not only about having this strong concept of state, effects, and actions. It's also that everything is available at any time, in the sense that you do model your whole freaking state tree. Even though you have 10 different pages, you're going to model your full state of all those 10 pages. It's just that a lot of the data isn't populated yet, but you still model the whole thing. And you can call actions for any page, regardless of which page you're on, right? That makes things super accessible. And often apps aren't like this. Like, you want that flexibility. And then maybe that's the thing I've kind of struggled with, is kind of concluding with that's a perfectly okay way to think about app development, and it's super accessible, and you move super fast, and you get a great overview and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna just git reset hard. How did I do this? Origin next. Yeah. And then, oh, what the hell happened there? No. Did something bad happen? Why does it say that there's no features? Init. Oh, there's no features here. Uh-oh. I think maybe something bad happened. But it seems to only be the features, like, or the types. That's interesting. Does it have all the stuff we did? Yeah, parent path. Yeah, it just seems like the types got broken. That's weird. Okay, I'll pull. Yeah, no. You can check the if you check the types file of Overmind, I think it's missing the features from the init message. Yeah, maybe that's it. Nope, no. Yeah, yeah. I tried Flutter as well. I can't remember. I also built. Oh, maybe you should check that out. I built a library for Flutter, state management library. What did I call it? Flutter state management Christian. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, where's that? Where's the Flutter packages? State management. What did I call it? Yeah, because you do have MobX, but at least at the time, this is years ago, it was really bad because you had to like have this build process next to it. I don't know if that's the case still. Is Christian Alfon here? Christian lyrics. No, that's not what I. How the hell can I? Oh, of course it's on my Flutter. Yeah, it's probably this one. Flutter observable state. Yeah, this is the one. Coming from the world of state management, blah blah blah. I felt the current solutions we felt was too verbose. Yeah, so this one is very much like MobX, really. So you just put observable around the things, and then you do get and change on it. Yeah, and then observe on the child. There's probably much better ways to do it now. But yeah, it was inspired by Overmind. So kind of like instead of hooks, you would do this. Yeah, it does use code generation. Yeah, maybe that's fine. But yeah, this one doesn't do it, and it's very much inspired by Overmind. As I mentioned, you kind of have these. Let's see. Yeah, so you say state to get the state, and then you say actions to get the actions, kind of like Overmind. And then you just have to observe on the child, and then it just works. I built an app with it. Yeah, I have a feeling, but I think it was only that type thing that caused the issue. Hopefully. Oh. Oh. Okay, I have to let's see. But what were we doing? We were looking at the docs, or yeah, I think we were. Anyway, so doesn't really, yeah. So your application code. Okay, I'm gonna push it to next. Missing types. Cool. How does it automatically publish in your next version, or is there an action or something? Anyway, so your application in its code does not really care about local storage or Firebase. It only cares about persistence. Creating an environment interface for your application is a pattern that can clean up your yeah, let's not call it environment interface. Creating an interface for your app. Okay, let's call it effects interface for your application is a pattern I can clean up your implementation by removing terminology and abstractions that isn't related to the application itself. Increases testability as you don't have to mock blah 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 blah. Let's call it effects. And then we have effects, whatever. Oh, but we can do effects like this. I think there should be effects. And then this effects, dot local persistence. Browser effects. Yeah, something like that. So if I go in, is it there in the actions? Oh, look at that. Amazing. Okay. Yeah, and then we have reactive. I think the documentation can be much better, but anyways, it's a starting point. Like, even after like years of Cerebral and Overmind, people were still like, I don't understand the docs. They should be like this instead of this. So that's one thing I've learned. Documentation is so subjective. Or I don't, or I'm weird. Like, I just can't understand how other people consume documentation. Okay, that's cool. So let's try now to, not here, but, oh. Was it done? In progress. Yeah, no. But that's a nice, another nice conclusion. It's like, you have to choose. It would be interesting to do like a review of the state at Code Sandbox. Like, maybe we can even take a quick look at it now. Applications. No, this will be client, Code Sandbox client. So, packages, app, source, app over mine, and then namespaces. Or maybe we can just go here for state. So one thing is this null stuff. That's fine. Yeah, so I guess you could also argue that so yeah, I guess this is a good example. Like, you have active team, but then when you always have an active team. At Code Sandbox, you always have an active team, except when it's loading. So when it's loading, you don't have an active team. So everywhere in the code, we know that there's an active team because we wouldn't have loaded anything without an active team. But it's literally defined as string or null, meaning that you might not have it. And then how do you like handle that? Does that mean, so for example, when we played around with the session, it's like, okay, but your session is something that happens first. So that is its own state management. And then you fire up your app, because only then you actually can fire up your app. So there's no question about this, the session state. You're always authenticated when you actually fire up the app. So you kind of create multiple sets of state management. And you could say the same here. It's like, no, we won't even fire up this state management unless you actually have a team, which is why Impact was this like nested stores, right? So that you would actually expose valid state, instantiated state for that section of the application, which makes sense. But you can also get around this because it's very often tied to data, where you just say like use active team, and that's just a query, right? And then if the query hasn't been fetched yet, it will be fetched. So you kind of hide it behind that. But that means that every time you use active team as a query, it means that you should use a suspense boundary because it might throw to suspense. You don't know if the data is fetched yet. So every single place you consume it, there's a potential loading state, which is not good either. So there's definitely a sense of decoupling state management for me. If only it is like the top level session, which dictates like the rest of the app is only valid when you actually have a user authenticated. But at Code Sandbox, that was even trickier because we allowed you to use it anonymously. So we didn't even have like that. So it's perfectly valid to have, is it current user? Or we have like user here somewhere. Yeah, user. So this is perfectly valid. But there are certain contexts where you definitely have a user, both in terms of actions and in terms of components. And the question then becomes, okay, do you just to solve the component part of it, do you then at the top level of a subtree of your components, do you check if you have the user or not? And if you have the user, you display that part of the code base, sorry, that part of the component tree, and you pass down the user. Yeah, so you pass down the user. And then the user is always there by contract of the property passed down to the components. But then you have to pass that user down multiple steps, right? So what you rather do is that you just use the app state. But then at every point where you try to access the user, you have to check if the user is actually there or not. But you know that the user is there. But then the third alternative is like, okay, let's just make a context around this section of the UI. So that this section of the UI is not going to use the global app state. It's going to use this specific feature state, for example. That also works, but it's like, it's a hassle. And that's only UI components. And then you have actions. And actions, you don't really have any way of doing this like nested checks because they're all just global. And it, yeah, just talking about this, it's just, it doesn't compute in my brain how to best do that. Like in the sense that it should be simpler. I just have this intuition that this should be simpler. Let's see. Yarn install overmind DevTools next. Oh. Oh, by the way, we also need to add. Yeah, and it's such a fair statement. It often feels like TypeScript is getting in our way, and especially here. But it's also revealing something. Let's see, all my dev tools. Sorry, I was just gonna check the. Did it have files? We also need a bin.js file, needs to be part of this. But it also reveals something. It's just that there's certain, that the complexity of the app is not expressed in the code. It's something that is only expressed in the minds of the developers who's working on it. Like only they know the complexity of the relationship between the different states. But that's the point, I guess. It's like there's so much complexity there that it's really hard to express it correctly through code. And you don't have to do that. Like if the developers are like super invested and has a lot of ownership in the code, you can move so insanely fast and there's no problems. Well, there's always problems, but not because of that. But I want that experience with TypeScript, so you kind of get that the code truly understands the complexity of your app, but it's still as accessible, so it doesn't get in your way, which we kind of try to do with Overmind. But yeah, that strict null checking is such a... Okay, so my partner is release yarn build. So we're gonna just publish this and then I have to go. Tag alpha. My partner has been very patient with me. Let's see. Oh, please don't. Sometimes this is just wrong and suddenly it just resolves itself. Like, I don't understand this. It's very, very annoying. I thought it was something wrong with the app or something, but it's just wrong. And then I get blocked out and then suddenly it starts working again. Oh, thank you. Okay, so yeah, we didn't really test the... Does it run? Yeah. Okay, cool. So I guess that's it. Yeah. Yeah, no, she knows this is... I have to do this. I have to do the streams. I have to do my open source. Like it pays for half of our house, right? Yeah, I'm so happy to have you joining, Ruben. And yeah, and I'm also like this whole conversation, like there's another factor in my brain these days, which is AI. Like, does it matter? Like how like the first thing that's gonna be taken over by AI is UI. But then there's like state management is kind of the next abstraction, which has more complexity. Well, UI can have a shit ton of complexity, but it's a different kind of complexity. But yeah, and that's also why I'm leaning towards like just using the language, because if AI is going to be used more and more also in like the state management parts of things, it's better to have a library that just uses the language than having some novel idea of abstractions and primitives and stuff that the AI will have a hard time understanding. But maybe someday that doesn't really matter. It'll just jump in, read the documentation, dump it in its memory, and then it'll be fine. Yeah. Anyways, that's a discussion for another time, exactly. Yeah, but I guess have a good night's sleep, and then we'll speak soon, and then yeah, I'll share the link with people and let's see if anyone tries it and give some feedback, and then we'll see where we'll take this next time. Okay, bye for now.